Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 335. 338, thank you.
He just told you it.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually going through the network thing to pull up some of the good people who support over there because I want to read them out.
You're not allowed to make a mistake, John.
Yeah,
Memory of a fish.
338. 2 3s and an 8. We're missing MVG tonight because he's off doing, I don't know, dinner, or Sean's gonna say he's asleep early or something. I don't know. Sean's here though. RGT85.
I am. What's up?
It's good to have Sean here. Going around, we got Josie. Josie, how we doing tonight?
Hello, I'm good. Excited to talk about it.
Good to have Josie. Evan's with us tonight too.
Yep.
And I saved OJ for last because we have to give a big congratulations to OJ. Saw the stream.
Yeah, thank you.
Got a new member of the family on the way.
Yes, new member of the family on the way. New house on the way. New lots of stuff on the way.
Good luck.
So yeah.
Is the house going to be accommodating it for? Is the house coming to accommodate the bigger family now?
It's actually a little bit smaller, but it's way nice. It makes better use of the space, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
It makes better use of the space, and everything's updated on the inside. It's nice. So it's in that type of way. But it is smaller overall square foot, but it's on better side of town. I don't live like on the edges of like dust on the edge of town, so I'm not gonna be like.
it's easier to get around the place.
Yeah, easier to get around, and there's not stray dogs everywhere, so that's good. That's I can actually run outside.
That's kind of important.
Yeah, that's really important because there's a lot of stray dogs out there and like foxes and stuff. So it's like,
okay. Oh wow, foxes.
Yeah, like little foxes and things running around sometimes. So none of those where I'm moving, so that's good. Yeah, new baby is on the way, so I'm excited, super excited. Pretty big gap in between the kids, but that's okay.
If it's a boy or girl yet?
No, I don't know. We're doing it like old school.
Exciting.
Yeah,
exciting. Okay, that's exciting.
Pops out and it's something. I hope this is not trying to be sexist. I hope it's a boy. I have a daughter that is 11 years old, so I just hope boy and a girl. I'm good.
There you go. All right, good stuff. Let's.
But if it's a girl, it's fine. If it's a girl, I love my baby.
I just thought you hated gotcha mechanics. I don't know.
I got a 50-50 chance here. Let's go. Roll the dice.
Tonight we actually had some pretty actually shocking news around all over the place in gaming. We had Jim Ryan announcing he's stepping down as the president and CEO of PlayStation. Hideki Kamiya left Platinum Games at like 3 a.m. one morning. We have Sega canceling a game before it even comes out, along with others. Epic Games announcing layoffs, and KOTOR might be in trouble. So a lot of stuff happening there. I do want to give a shout out to some of the executive producers over on the Spawncast Network. Of course, you can check out the network over on spawncastnetwork.com or patreon.com/Spawncast. Got John O, longtime supporter. Shout out to John O, Joshua Butts, and William Hogue. Those are all executive producers over on the Spawncast Network. Make sure you check that out. There's a link down below in the description. And we are currently streaming on not only YouTube, but Twitter. So I do want to welcome in the Twitter audience here. I've seen the option for weeks now, months even, and I just think about it, like, let's try Twitter. Let's see, because we can either stream to like Twitter or we can stream to Twitch. And I was like, let's see what's going on Twitter. Let's try that. So what we'll do is, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Twitter, if you want to leave comments and stuff so it's easier to find, just drop a what is it now? It's not tweet, it's X, and it's Zeets. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Zeets.
Shut the fuck. It's Twitter. Just call it Twitter.
I actually saw it and I reposted that for you, John. Can we take one question right now? Let's take one question.
Hashtag Spawncast.
Yeah, there's a question there. You want to take a question?
Yeah. All right.
They said, question: do you eat? This is from Kenneth A. Kramer. He says, do you eat the cake part of the birthday cake first, then eat the icing, or eat the icing first, then eat the cake second? Seems like an RGT question.
That's a good question. So, like, do you have the cake backwards, basically, and get like the big thing of icing on one side?
Like the breading first. I don't like the icing as much, so I eat the breading stuff first. Then I take a little bit of the icing. I'm not an icing person. I like the.
I think it depends on the icing too, though. Like chocolate icing, I'm good with that. But like when it's like the really really sweet like vanilla icing, I kind of prefer the cake more. Then
I just eat the cake normally. Stick a fork in.
One-handed, just
okay, so you eat the breading first and then you leave you end up with the icing at the end.
No, I eat the cake. I stick a fork in the cake.
Yeah.
The fork goes through the icing and the cake, and then you pick up a piece and you put it.
But
in
then
your
you
mouth.
get to the end of it, where the outside, where they put all like the extra icing and stuff, and then you just tack that separately at the end.
I mean, if there's some there, I try to ration it out so that everything is proportionate. But my family does a lot of ice cream cakes, so that kind of throws a monkey wrench.
I like a good ice cream cake. Okay,
The Fudgy the Whale.
Do you like ice cream cake or regular cake more?
Ice cream cake.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, ice cream cake's better for sure. Like, have you guys ever had like a golden Oreo ice cream cake? It's delicious.
Golden Oreo ice.
Yeah, golden Oreo ice cream cake. It's so good. Yes.
No, we just have like grandma goes to fucking Big Y grocery store and gets the ice cream cake. It's like vanilla, and then there's like chocolate crunchies in the middle and stuff, and then there's it's like vanilla and chocolate ice cream with like a white icing. If I have a normal cake, I like a chocolate cake with vanilla icing.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't hear any of Josie's opinion on any of this.
I just eat it normally. I feel like you just eat the icing with the cake, so you have a good ratio. I can't just eat a mouthful of icing. That's nasty.
Exactly. I agree.
So I like to keep it symmetrical. With cupcakes, I take off the bottom though, and I put it on the top and eat it like a sandwich.
But then there's like cheesecake, and cheesecake is very different.
Yeah.
I hate cheesecake.
You take the you take the bottom off of the cupcake.
Yeah, when you hold a cupcake, you just take the bottom part off, you
And then
take
just
it off,
throw it
put
away
it on the
and-
top.
You're talking about
No,
the
you put it on. You put it on the top, and then you eat it like
Don't
a
you
sandwich.
remember that episode of Seinfeld where they were selling only muffin tops, top of the muffin to you, and then like they were giving the stumps to the homeless people, and like the homeless advocate came and was like, "Where's the rest of the muffin? The homeless don't just want the stumps."
Seinfeld has like the most things that like aren't funny if you tell the joke yourself, but if you watch it, it's funny if you watch it, but it's not funny if you just say what happened.
I want to give a big shout out to Nandito Hernandez, who dropped a big $100 super chat.
Yo,
And they said just cause.
just
Or just cause. They might want a new just cause.
yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure.
true.
I can read it both ways. Nandito Hernandez, I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's just start right away. We're just going to start with the Jim Ryan stuff. Actually, you know what? I do want to ask very quickly. OJ, you played Foam Stars.
I did.
Fill us in on Foam Stars, because the game I'm playing, I can't technically talk about. And
Spider-Man?
I just assume that no, actually not Spider-Man. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Mirage.
But you just said you can't talk. Okay, well, you
Can't
can
talk
say
about
it.
it.
Yeah,
You just can't talk.
You
about
can
it.
also show the title screen, I believe, because other people are doing it.
Yeah,
I didn't do
yeah.
that though. But I assume Sean's just been playing Revenge again. So
Yeah, just been playing random stuff. I played Shark today, man.
hey,
Yeah,
how's that?
yeah.
How's that looking?
Fucking A.
I had to give you the GOAT status for that video. I did watch the video. I had to give you that's why I said RGT's the GOAT.
It's
You played
fucking
Shark for us. so
how you expected to sell a $200 system with Shark as your big title. Fuck, man, there must have they're based in California. There were some good drugs out there, so
I wouldn't know. Josie wouldn't know either.
I would never.
The best roids.
I did see the video.
I wouldn't know about that either.
I had to see what $15 would buy me.
fucking a flash game with no backgrounds and little fish.
You can buy a lot of games with $15. You could buy Hollow Knight almost twice.
I have
You
Hollow
buy
Knight.
tilting tiles. Go
No, I just mean I'm just thinking about games you can buy for $15 instead of Shark.
Oh yeah, you can buy it. There's that.
Fox
Well, that's
Boy.
what they're
That's Dead
Not-
Cells. You can buy Dead Cells.
not to
Right, yeah.
go like to. No, my PS5 doesn't sit in rest mode. It sits in unplugged in mode. What was I saying? BBG Entertainment is like doing all of the games that were supposed to, like Dino Blasters. I believe that came out. That was another Amico exclusive. Here's what their thought process is with this. Their thought process is, well, we can sell the games on other platforms to make money, so we could put that money into releasing the Amico, but that'll have the same games that you've already bought on it. Like the fucking idiots, man.
Okay, so don't buy it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Maybe it'll go on sale. It'll be a penny. at some point. How we see those sales happen, and that like shoots them up the sales charts because of it. So,
well, 99 cents is the new low limit.
Oh, that's right. They can't go below that. Well, that's fine. That OJ, hit us with the quick summary of Foam. I know it's in beta right now, so people are saying that the matchmaking a little sketchy at times.
Matchmaking's a bit sketchy. Essentially, real quick, basically, it's like a character-based Splatoon game, so it's not weapon necessarily based, like where you switch those out. It's character based, and the character has a certain weapon, so you can't pick the same character if you're on the same team. You have to pick somebody different. So you get into it match, and like it's like Splatoon where you like you bubble things up instead of ink, and like you can ride on that bubble and do special moves and do different things just like Splatoon. But the thing with this is that after you get it down or you kill someone, well, you don't really kill someone, you just knock them down, and then instead of like them just evaporating, you like slide into them. That's how you revive a teammate or you knock somebody else out on their team. So essentially you keep on playing and you have two sides. Then once somebody becomes the superstar, you have to knock out that superstar to try to win that, in at least that game mode. The problems with the game that I've seen so far is that it's not necessarily like not as smooth. Like getting like your surfboard out in and out of the bubbles is just kind of janky. There's some startup frame delay on multiple times that you do that. Like Splatoon, it's very smooth, like going in and out of the ink. As long as you have your color ink, it's good. Whereas this, there's some frame startup that cause a problem. Plus, like the reload is there's delay on the reload. So it's like if you're in the middle of a firefight and you have to reload, it's gonna like do this reload animation. Whereas like Splatoon, you can take that time. You don't have to think about reloading because you go into the ink and it reloads. So like just like the mechanics of the game just in general are just not quite as fleshed out because they didn't want to copy it to the T, but by not copying it to the T, it creates issues, because you're trying to copy the gameplay, but then it's like, oh, well, now there's all these other things, which could be a benefit. Maybe people say, hey, I like that about the game. But overall, I thought that there's potential. The graphics are nice. They're smooth. The character-based gameplay can be fun, but there's some jank. Like there's some jank with the gameplay, like with the special moves. I captured some of it on stream or on my capture card, so I'll have a video out, and it shows some of the jank in the game. It looks like just like a mess. There's verticality in the game, like you can foam stuff up and get on top and start shooting down bubbles. But
you do ride the foam around.
Yeah, you do ride the foam around it. Then you can shoot somebody's foam to where it kind of interferes with them and they can't move as fast, just like Splatoon. There's potential to be something there, but like I said, like with the startup frames and moving in and out with your surfboard, that's kind of laggy and not as smooth. There's some issues in terms of the class bases. There's some jank overall, which is how the special moves work and hit detection and collision. It doesn't seem like you're actually like Splatoon, like when you get a hit, like it kind of hones in and you feel like when you're getting a hit on someone. This one just kind of feels like you're not at times, depending on what weapon you use. Some weapons are a lot better than others, so maybe I need to try out some more. But I've tried the shotgun, I've tried like the dual pistols, I've tried a number of weapons, and there was just a little bit of a learning curve there. But it's not bad. Like I said, there's potential if they can fine tune this baby up and add some things, get rid of that lag in terms of multiple point out your surfboard and not get rid of that lag, get rid of some of the reloading lag as well with some of the guns, and I think that you'll have a faster, better playing game.
Okay, because it's in beta now. Maybe they'll make some changes. Do we know if this is free to play yet? Or
it is? It's free to play.
Okay.
Yeah, it's free to play. Hopefully that wasn't too long of a quick summary. So
no, that works. That works. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's still available. You can play it till I think Sunday.
But like when the full game comes out, do we know if it's free to play or if they're
the full game? I think is free to. I think it is free to play. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure though. I'll double check.
Yeah, I wasn't sure one way or the other if it was a premium release or if it was free to play.
I think it is. I think it is free to play though. I don't think they're charging anything for this. Yeah, I don't think they say.
Okay. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. If it's in beta now and it's people are playing it, I assume we're getting close to that release date and announcement.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Jim Ryan, who is actually leaving Sony, which surprising, yes. Also, maybe not as much. I think looking at the situation with where all of this happened and how Jim Ryan has been with Sony for, as they mentioned, 30 years, retirement was probably on the table. And according to Jim Ryan and Sony, that is indeed what's happening, where effective April 1st, 2024, Mr. Totoki will be appointed interim CEO of SIE while he continues his role at Sony Group Corporation. And from there, they will look for a new CEO for PlayStation or SIE going forward. Now, Jim Ryan, being there for 30 years, spent a majority of his time in Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe, where he worked to really turn around the PlayStation 3 alongside of really the rest of Sony, because it kind of tripped and fell over right out of the gate. But him being there basically since the PS1 launched, he's had a long tenure, and it seems like now, I think he's 55, I think. I believe at this point he's like, yeah, I'm good, I'm out. He also did attribute some of the difficulties to traveling, because he lives in Europe, then traveling, as Sony has become more and more for PlayStation, more of a Western company in the US. Seems like all the travel and everything, maybe time differences, was taking its toll, and he was ready to move on. But he, of course, took position as a CEO SIE in 2019 and worked to launch the PlayStation 5, as well as put in motion this big live service initiative, and worked to really bring the PC side of things to fruition, as that was kind of already planned prior to him being there, and he just worked to get that plan out there. But Jim Ryan leaving, someone new coming in, is this good or bad for Sony? I saw some celebration. I saw some people unsure. It's all over the place online right now.
So mixed, the reactions. You've got hardcore Sony fans that some of them are like, oh my God, this is the greatest ever. Then you have the other people that are like, oh no, he did a great job and all that. So I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Jim Ryan guy, got rid of Japan Studio. I get it. He's a good businessman, but let me just say this. You can't deny the business stuff, right? PS5, it did what it did. It's doing what it's doing. They've been able to sell a lot of copies of God of War and Horizon and stuff. But yeah, the Japan Studio thing to me is trash. I don't, that's not something you do your first studio that ever. Like, I don't like that. Wasn't a huge fan of that. And I'm not a huge fan of the live service initiative. I'm not a huge fan of that. Mm-hmm. The game release schedule has been, since the PS3 days, it's just been cut quite a bit because of live service and because of some of this other stuff. Like, they're doing like VR, I guess they started that with Sean Layden, right? Or whatever before, but I'm not
VR,
a huge fan of, I'm not a huge fan of so much investing into that. The cinematic games and stuff, you can argue back and forth about that, like where's some of the other titles, but that's not as big of a deal to me than some of the other things. But like getting rid of that one studio that can create those type of games for you, those experiences, I think that was the biggest thing that I disliked about Jim Ryan. But not everybody's perfect. People make mistakes, or maybe not, or whatever the case is. So I think that overall he did good for the business, but not necessarily somebody that I love as a CEO or whatever. But you can't deny his track record when it comes to the sales. So.
Yeah, when it comes to the business side, it is hard to argue with that. But if you step away as a gamer and you kind of look at what's been delivered, if you like it or not, you can pretty much form an opinion separate from the business. Like I was bringing up some of the stuff he did in terms of making Sony, as successful as ever when it comes to the revenue. But then like Sean will kind of disagree completely and be like, what has he done? He's out. Good.
The PC stuff is good, right? That's really good.
Sony looking for ways to make more money, them trying to navigate this with the idea of it goes to PC later, but then the live services don't. It seems like they're half in with the whole thing. And that's something that I think the next CEO will have to contend with. But Sean, what'd you think of this? Because you had a strong opinion on this.
The guy, he's a typical business guy, which, it works for some companies, for others it doesn't. I'm not going to reap a bunch of praise on him for all, like, people are like, oh, he successfully launched the PlayStation 5. Like, the PlayStation 5 was going to sell. You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation 5 was coming off of the PlayStation 4 pedigree. People loved the PlayStation 4. They were ready for the next PlayStation system. The PlayStation brand has a very strong fan base, like an Apple or even like a Nintendo, where people will just, tend to buy their products. And yes, he launched it in the middle of a pandemic. Okay. Kudos. Like, What about all the times you said, oh, this was only possible through the power of the PlayStation 5? Now is a fucking lie. What about the rising cost of PSN with no added benefits? If anything, the benefits have gotten worse over time. I understand he's not the one necessarily doing all these things, but as the president of the company, you take those lumps. You know what I'm saying? You take the highs and you take the lows. I feel like the era of Sony that we're in right now, there's kind of a bit of a, almost like an identity crisis, because they tell you that they want these single player experiences that are only possible on PlayStation. But now the gap, that window from coming to PlayStation to PC is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, but they've invested all this money into these, online initiative games that we haven't seen the benefits of yet, because obviously those sort of take time. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing that he's leaving. And I honestly don't think that it's quite as cut and dry as people are making it out to be. Like, oh, he just wanted to retire. I'm calling bullshit on that. I think there's a lot more to the story that we may never hear about, but you could insinuate some things based on some recent events that have been happening. I don't see it as cut and dry as some people make it out to be. I hope the man enjoys his retirement, this, that, and the other. But
He's got a lot of money.
I don't think it was as much as like, oh, you know what? I want to spend some time with my family. I'm going to retire. Like, let's keep it a buck here. What was he, 55? It's not that old,
but he looks 75.
I think it's CEO year. I think CEO years. I think that.
Yeah, he looks like dead ass. He looks like 70. Like, he looks like he uses hair coloring, and he looks. And I'm not trying to be mean, but the dude looks old. Like, my mom was like 60. My mom looked 10 times better than him. Like, yeah, the fact that like he and my mom's older than him by multiple years, and like that dude looks.
He's
old.
63. He's 63.
Okay, but still, they're about this. My mom's same age. My mom looks years younger.
60, 61, and yeah, he looks
old.
Rough around it. But I mean, like you said,
tired.
Like you said, that's that corporate life. You live and die by your work. But no, and I mean, even if you look at the timing of stuff, like when he's being like relieved of his temporary duties, but he's still kind of a part of the company until March, and then he's completely gone. Like, there's something else. There's something else going on there.
Conspiracy theory?
How come
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's just
Google Jim Ryan age, like 3 or 4 different ages come up for this guy. No one knows how old he is. This one,
because you look at him and you're thinking, wait a minute, hell no, he can't really be old.
Jim Ryan age, right? And it's in the top one that Google tries to summarize, says this question has been in many minds recently. As of 2023, Jim Ryan is 63 years old, making him around 53 years old in 2021.
Yeah,
I think the AI kind of messed up on that article. PWB.
I think, and I don't think it's a conspiracy to say it at all, because if you look at how the events are playing out, the timing of the events that have been happening leading up to this, like it's kind of a bit weird, Like, okay. I feel like if this was a planned retirement, don't you think we would have possibly heard something about this before this point in time? Like, it came up out of complete nowhere. Sony had the press release ready to roll with the dates, who's doing what, and when they're doing it. This seems very calculated to me, and I think there are reasons behind it.
We didn't hear about Reggie's retirement before. There was just a video.
But Jim Ryan actually does stuff, unlike Reggie. So I felt like,
what?
Reggie made the Bigfoot pizza.
Jim Ryan did a little bit more than marketing than Reggie was good at. But no, I think it's a very strange situation. And really, if you go back to Sean Layden, it's like,
that situation's weird. That one was
weird.
That's a
conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy.
That's not. But no, I've heard things about that, man. I've heard things.
Yeah, I need the Sean Layden story. I need that.
He's not allowed to talk. He definitely has an NDA. He's not allowed to say anything because he refuses to talk about it.
So I mean, and the thing is, we'll never know. We'll never know what happened with Sean Layden. We'll probably
maybe.
We'll find out. Jason
think we'll-
Schreier, like in 5 years, we'll find out, baby.
Yeah, I don't know though.
Sean,
I don't know
Sean's
if we ever. Yeah, Schreier blocked me.
Don't worry, I'm not.
Way to look out for your fellow Jew, Schreier. Jesus Christ. No, but I mean, I just that might get you canceled on Twitter, John. That might get the
you
video
said it, not me.
down. But I'm on your show. It's on your Twitter
at
account.
RGT85.
Don't forget, my name is Jonathan Downey.
Oh man,
What are you doing? What are you doing, Sean? Jesus Christ!
Whenever I say bad things on
He does.
Xbox when we're playing games, because now Xbox listens to what you're saying, I always say that. Remember, my this is my name. But no, I mean, it'll be interesting to see when the story actually comes out, if it comes out.
Yeah, I'd like to get some backstory on that, just to see what happened between Sean Layden, Jim Ryan, and everything at Sony. But Josie, were you surprised by this when it was announced that Jim Ryan was stepping away?
I don't really have too much of a crazy opinion on this because I know people don't like him, but like I never really was so hardcore into it that I really like noticed, I guess. I don't like live service games very much. I think they're kind of obnoxious. So, if this stops it from all of their games turning to live service, I will like that. But
It won't.
it's like a new head of the company, or like whatever. I feel like they're all just kind of gonna do very similar things, and everybody's gonna kind of like or kind of dislike them, and it just really is a new person doing the same shit.
They're beholden to their investors, and if their investors
Right,
want live
exactly.
service, doesn't matter who's the head.
Exactly.
Do their investors
That's what I'm saying.
want all live service, as much live service? Do you think?
Probably, because I mean, a lot of the write-ups and any kind of information coming out of gaming always points to certain live, not all of them, but certain live service games always turning around 20, 30, 40 times more income than just regular games. And I'm pretty sure everyone putting money in is like, oh, I want that, even though it's still a massive risk and probably won't happen.
I ask Evan real quick. So, is that a do-rag? I want one. What are you wearing on your head?
This is just a bandana.
Is it a bandana?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like a silk bandana? It looks like a silk bandana.
No, I can't remember what these were. I thought they were flat cloth, and then they got them and they were shiny, and I was just like, fuck it,
I need where you get those from.
I'm more curious who they appoint after Jim Ryan's gone. People have thought Herman Holst. I feel like it's gonna be someone else, maybe from like kind of the managerial side that we just never see or hear about. And it's like, oh, okay, this person's now the CEO.
It'll be Doug. They'll give it to Doug Bowser. Then he'll do.
He'll run Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah, he just sits in his office playing with his pencils and drums.
The live service push will be interesting. I feel like that's in motion. I think that's getting done one way or the other. The new CEO will probably see that forward. Honestly, the next 3 or 4 years, all the games that come out will be ones that Jim Ryan probably had signed off on his desk at some point in time. So I won't even see his full vision for another half a decade.
Real quick with this Jim Ryan situation, like, do you think that like some of this, like this whole Microsoft buying up everything is like just tell him like, man, screw this. Like, I'm tired of this. Like him having to fly. I think that's stressful, bro.
I'm sure that stressed him a bit.
Yeah.
I think
This dude, you remember Street Fighter, Sean? Real quick before you remember Street Fighter on the plane when you start flying to different countries. That's Jim Ryan's going to every damn country, getting his ass whooped.
I think that transaction may have played a role in what how people within Sony viewed him. Like that transaction going through. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Because Microsoft just steamrolled him. The FTC,
let's
everything.
Be real. Jim Ryan was trying
to be a family UK man.
Jim Ryan was trying to stop that shit like hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was trying to stop that shit hardcore.
Ever tried to stop shit at 60-something years old? That shit, like, it's double the work.
Yeah.
Man, like I don't know.
When you're 30 or 40, you can deal with it. When you're 60, damn, it's just want to pull out a gun and shoot somebody or something.
It could be the fact that maybe he just wanted to retire, but
if you've been there since the PlayStation 1 launched, that's a long time. That's a while.
But that's your career. That's what you're doing.
True.
Like,
that's true.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I assume you also get to the point where you kind of look around and you're like, I don't have to do this anymore. I can go.
Yeah, but what's the point of him still being there at that age? Like, he's almost near retirement age for some. Like, what's the point of still being there? You've accomplished everything that a corporate person can accomplish.
The thing the thing he could have said I didn't accomplish was launching a system, like heading up a system launch, and he just did it. He did it with the PS5. Got it to a good spot, and he's like, all right, that was the last thing on my corporate bucket list. I'm out.
He's got shares, he's got money, what's the point of being, I think at that age, if at that point, Reggie was, I know Reggie doesn't, you say Reggie doesn't do anything, but let's just use, like, I think Reggie's in his 50s when he decided to say, I'm done, you know? So I don't, like, I'm not saying that you don't have to be at the company, and even if you love to do it, but to me, like, in that situation, it doesn't seem fun anymore. Like, with what's going on, like, to me, it's no longer fun to do like what he was doing. Mm-hmm. There's too much pressure and stress. And man, I hope at that age, if I'm in a position like that, I'm done. I'm not going to sit around. Why wait around with that amount of money that you got and what you've accomplished? You don't got to answer to anybody anymore, you know?
Yeah, especially after he seemed to get them to a good stopping point before the phase 2 of the generation starts.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also right now, the PlayStation 6 will start up, like, in terms of development research and how they're going to approach it. That's probably starting up now. So if he's there to start that, I mean, you feel like he'd have to be there at least through the launch of it, and he probably doesn't want to do that now. I mean, then that's like what, 2028 we're talking.
So he's almost 70, you know, just bow out right now. There's no point. You don't need the extra money. He's got money. He's got what he needs. It's time to just ride off into the sunset or do something else. You know, do consulting. Like, he's probably gonna do consulting and spend time with his family. Like, that's. You know,
probably,
so it's good.
That's what I was
I'm happy for him for that, you know, like, cause like he's been working 30 years at one place, bro. I could barely say 1 or 2 years at places that I worked when I worked corporate jobs.
We'll see what happens next year when they decide to appoint the new CEO, and I think that'll maybe give us indication as to where Sony's heading for the second phase of the PlayStation 5. So we'll keep an eye. I do expect them to hire from within, though. I don't think they're bringing someone from outside of Sony in, so people can technically make some guesses. Yeah, Sean Lane, I think, is at 10 cents, so he's probably getting paid a lot of money doing that. Let's let's go to, you know what? I do want to get to some of the live service stuff, because it was a week for that, but I kind of want to touch on the KOTOR stuff first. This is kind of sad, Sean. Although you might be a little more optimistic than me, Sean.
Well, I mean, they came out and said that it was because of licensing.
So what's happening right now? We already know that KOTOR has had a rough development. Obviously, it got taken away from Aspyr, given to Saber. There was some unpleasantness apparently after they showed the demo to Disney or Sony or somebody, and they had to restructure that and move things around. But now it appears Sony is removed the trailer for the game that they had up on their YouTube channel, and then they also started removing any mentions on Twitter or anything about it too. Like, they started deleting all of those messages. And when we had Steven Totillo, who mentioned that they asked Disney what was going on. Disney said, go ask Sony. Then after asking Sony did respond to IGN saying that music licensing was a factor, and they had to remove the trailer that has apparently Star Wars music in it, which is weird, because you feel like Disney would be able to say, that there was licensing stuff, but they said go to Sony and ask them. I don't know. This sounds a little sketchy to me. I have serious concerns about KOTOR. I am leaning towards this thing being canceled, unfortunately. And that's rough, because this is a game that people lost their mind when it got revealed. There's a lot of excitement, but I want to say some people were like, oh, it's Aspyr. I don't know. Like, I think, Sean, you mentioned that. You're like, I don't know, it's Aspyr. People who were kind of unsure about that ended up being correct.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't care about this. Like, I
what?
KOTOR. Really? I'm not a huge fan of KOTOR.
Wow.
I don't like the combat in KOTOR, where it's like, wow, this really should be an action game. But
well, that's the thing. They were going to reimagine it more as an action game.
Yeah, but I still Star Wars is a very oversaturated franchise right now. So, like, I don't really follow it.
It could have been pretty cool, though. I mean, if they made if they were able to reimagine it really well, I mean, it could have been like a FF7 type of reimagining, right? Like,
that is one of the best twists in gaming, like the story.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think that's why people went nuts for it. You know, I did not go nuts for it, even though I'm a huge KOTOR fan. And the reason why is because I didn't know who the hell was making it, and they didn't show anything. So I was already kind of wary from the beginning, especially coming off Metroid Prime. Although we know who makes Metroid Prime, but they had issues with that. But I don't know, man. Like I don't know, when you just see like just a CG. It's hard to get like, okay, well, what's going to happen? We don't know. So I didn't really get too hyped for it or not, because I was like, well, all they showed was a CG trailer. And I don't know who's making this or how they're going to reimagine it or whatever the case is. Like, I'm not sure. So, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with RGT, because I feel like it's so oversaturated right now. We got the Ahsoka show. We have like all this different shit on Disney Plus and all of these different games that it's hard for me to get excited about anything coming to the franchise. I know this is like a super big game though from back in the day, right?
Oh man, you're like, aren't you a big, you're a big Star Wars fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a classic game, Josie.
It was pretty groundbreaking back when it came out, because of the choice that you have, because of the different options, because of everything you could do. So it was wild, and it was like, it just felt like super next gen. Yeah, because it was on the Xbox. And like it had everything, like it was just it looked great, it played great, it was just a dope game.
They're morbidly curious. You could buy it on the Switch now.
It's on the Switch.
Yeah, I think there is that port. Yeah,
it's also on the Xbox Series, and they like up the frame rate, resolution, all that stuff there too. So they give options.
It's really good on there. It's really good on the Xbox Series. Yeah,
that was a game that when it came out, there were a few games that generation that I was like, okay, this can only run on the Xbox. That was one of them. It was that, Fable, and actually kind of Halo 2, definitely.
Yeah,
there were games, and then Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, where they had like the bump mapping and all that stuff going on. Few games I looked at and said this cannot run on the PS2 and GameCube, and that was one of them.
Or at least not run as efficiently as it did, or whatever, or look as good as it did and run as good as it did, or look and all that. So yeah, like it's great. I mean, kind of a product of its time, and I don't know if people as much would like it today unless you played it back then, but it's still a really good game. So it sucks that it's canceled, but I mean, look, we didn't see anything. Like, it would have been worse if they showed us a bunch of stuff and then it was like, maybe it gets canceled. I mean, that would have sucked.
Josie, I apologize for having all of them mansplain it to you. I know that was very inappropriate.
Star Wars.
How is it mansplain? I don't get it.
Because you're a man explaining things to her.
It was Star Wars explaining.
When Josie explains something, is it a woman's splain?
No, that's fine. They can do whatever. Follow the rules.
When did KOTOR come out?
2002.
Oh, yeah. So that was like a year before I was born. So
there you go.
I didn't even around for this.
Yeah, it was. Man, I get. That means you don't know about Darth Revan or any of that stuff. And one of the best twists in gaming.
I played the Lego Star Wars games.
What?
The Lego ones. They were chill.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
John's face. You shook John to the core right there.
Lego Star Wars is fine, but this is like, this is almost like required gaming. Man, even Sean doesn't like Star Wars. Played it.
I don't.
Did it change your opinion?
Star Wars. I don't know where this narrative that I don't like Star Wars came from.
I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars, to be honest, but I played the games.
I like the first 6 films. While obviously the prequels had their problems, I still enjoyed them during my youth. I enjoyed playing Shadows of the Empire. I always wanted to play the Jedi Forces, the first person shooter one.
They need to remake that.
Yeah,
they need to. If they do,
Jedi Outcast.
Thank you. See,
good.
Sean, you see this? Jedi Outcast was good.
No, it was terrible.
It was good at the time. I played it again.
Okay. I can give you that, maybe at the time, because I played it for the first time when it came on Switch, because John was deep throating its dick, and he made Nate and I buy it, and we were like, "What is this? This isn't good. Like, this isn't."
I mean, I guess if you try to compare it to I don't know, the newest ones, then yeah, maybe you run into some issues there, especially after the patch.
I just feel it, but a game like Rogue Squadron is still very playable.
Rogue Squadron is very good.
Well, yeah, because Rogue Squadron, because that game was ahead of its time, though. You can tell when you play the game, you're like, wow, this is something that's really kind of advanced, you know.
Yeah, that's aged really well too. By the way, like on the
Yeah, it's
GameCube,
aged.
it looks really good still.
Yeah, it's aged well.
I don't know. I feel like this is it. I feel like KOTOR is just going to quietly fade away, and I don't know how Sony looks at that and is probably just shaking their head over that thing, because that should have been a big win for them in general, and it just ends up being this exploding in their face kind of. So
They should have never announced it. You know, that's why they should have never. I mean, if they didn't, apparently, like the rumors or whatever is like, you know, they never had like a solid plan for this game, right? Or it was, then it switched hands, right? Didn't like it switched developers, and
the word was Aspire had a demo. A vertical demo of the game. They showed it to higher ups, I believe, at Disney and Sony, and then 3 days later, 2 of the directors got fired.
It was so bad, you know.
Well, the rumor was it was so expensive looking.
I feel like it was
so
too expensive. Bad. Yeah, that's my belief.
It wasn't that it was bad; it was too expensive.
My belief is that it was good, but they were like, great. Now this is floor 1 of level 1A. Is this going to work for the rest of the game? And they're like, oh, this is out 2 years from now, huh? So I feel like there was a little more to the story in the sense
that I thought it was that even makes this worse.
That's my belief, is that the scope and money involved went way beyond what that's just what I believe happened. But
that's bad communication. Everybody should be on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, again, the real story probably will come out eventually, especially because it's so high profile, and Jason Schreier clearly had some kind of a year ago or something. So I'm sure the story will come out for it at some point. But it's big fumble there. I mean, it's the excitement was there, the interest was there. You feel like Disney might come back and try it again, but they gotta pick a better studio next time that can handle it, because them and then Embracer seems to be going through it right now. I think they're looking to cut down any expenses they can. So that would be one of them. KOTOR.
This was because it's canceled because of licensing issues, right?
Sony says they pulled the trailer because of licensing, but they're working directly with Disney, who owns Star Wars. So that's
weird.
Yeah, that sounds to me like they're trying to explain it away without explaining it necessarily. So, because Embracer, I assume, would be the ones who would have to make the announcement, and they keep making bad announcements. They keep closing stuff and canceling things, and I don't. If I'm that CEO who looked like he was having a hard time sleeping when he showed up for his meeting on that live stream, I don't want to be the one having to say KOTOR's canceled now. So that's. Maybe they just hope we all forget about it. I don't know. We just all had the same dream. I don't know.
Plus, it hasn't actually been canceled yet.
I mean, it hasn't officially been canceled, but they've tried to eliminate its existence online completely. So it's still in that showcase. It's the PlayStation 2021 showcase, and it's in there for about a minute for the trailer. That's still there. If we go back, because you can edit the stuff in YouTube after you post it. If we go back and eventually find that they edited that out, okay, then are we kind of thinking they might be gone?
I mean, there's a better chance of it, but I mean, I still don't necessarily. I mean, maybe they reboot it. You know, maybe they reboot it with a different team or something.
They could do that. They could Metroid Prime for it.
Yeah,
absolutely. They could. We'll see. I think a story's coming out one way or the other. Either Embracer's going to tell us, or Jason Schreier's going to tell us. So we'll see. Let's talk very quickly about, because there's so little information, Hideki Kamiya leaving Platinum Games. My time was announced at 3 a.m. It's just a press release. Platinum releases said, "We regret to inform you Hideki Kamiya is no longer here." And that was kind of it. I don't know what happened. He just seemed to part ways for some reason, and he said he's going to keep working on games, so look out for it. So he's not done. I assume he's either going to go off and get a studio funded or join a company that's already in full swing with studios and publishers and all of this.
Or maybe make fun little cell phone games or something. Yeah.
He could do that. I mean, he directed Soul Cresta. Like, he could do something a bit smaller if he wanted and create.
I have another Apple arcade game too that's on there. Forgot the name of it. It's like a samurai game or something.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like he'll go off and work with someone. I don't think he's going to do it by himself. He'll form a little studio, I assume, and he'll make something. But this is a weird one for Platinum because there's one person left who founded the company, and everyone else who founded it's kind of gone now. And Kamiya, people were thinking that this is gonna be heavy affecting Bayonetta, but he was mostly just doing story stuff.
Yeah, he hasn't really been like the main person on Bayonetta since the original game. Like even Bayonetta 2, I mean, it wasn't like Bayonetta 3 for sure. He was even more hands off than he was on 2. Then 1, he directed that game, like that was his game. But yeah, it's not really going to affect Bayonetta or like Astral Chain. That was Tuda. So
what it will affect, and this is another game I have a lot of questions about, as we just talked about KOTOR, is Project GG.
Yeah.
He was directing that one.
He was. So that's where I agree. That's where that one definitely something must have happened with that game, or maybe the direction or something where he feels it's not.
That was connected to his Hero series with Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, and then it was going to be Project GG. They did that little trailer where they showed like these big kaiju superhero, I don't know, like Ultraman stuff fighting kind of. And okay, it sounded at least interesting. It's the Kamiya probably going off the rails, but why not? We'll see what he has. And then Platinum Games started progressively talking more and more about live service games. And then we woke up one morning, Kamiya was gone. So I kind of wonder if Project GG, after getting a large investment, I believe, from Tencent, so that they could make their own intellectual property, which Platinum really doesn't have much of. I kind of wonder if that started morphing into a live service game that he wasn't necessarily on board with.
Kamiya seems like a straight shooter, right? So it seems like that has to be what happened. Because something when he talked about
Project GG.
Yeah, like something with a problem with Project GG in terms of like what they were doing and the direction. Because he said like, hey, I want to make games in my style. He said that. So like he just seems like the type of guy that's just going to tell you straight up like, this is what happened, right? Even after the whole controversy with Helena Taylor, he actually said, he's like, wait a minute, no, we offered her this. He just said it, but then he's like, oh, hold up, delete it, delete. But he's a straight shooter type of dude. He'll just say what he feels, right? So I think that was part of him. He didn't say exactly, but that was part of it. It was like, like they're not letting me make the game, or there's issues in terms of how I want to do it. So I gotta go.
Yeah, it was very abrupt and out of nowhere. And I wonder what happens to Project GG at this point. Sean, where do you think this leaves Platinum? That's the real question now that Kamiya's out.
Probably more Kickstarters.
More Kickstarters. I do wonder what happens now, because I feel like they'll still keep their contracts going with Nintendo and other companies. But Kamiya was we talked about how Jim Ryan was leaving and there wasn't a lot of communication or good communication between Jim Ryan and the player base. Kamiya at least had like a line of communication to the player base. He was like one of the figureheads, almost one of the mascots for Platinum. So him being gone is it's a little less recognizable than, I guess, from the outside.
Yeah, I always feel if somebody wants to do something though, he shouldn't let the company, even if you found that company, like don't let that get in the way of your ambition, especially if you got plenty of like fight left in you, So if he feels that this company isn't going the way that he wants to go because of whatever, then that's fine. Leave and do something that you want to do. Be happy about it, like be happy with your work. Nobody likes going into work and like every time it's like, man, I got to deal with this. It's like nobody likes that. That's the worst thing ever, So
maybe he'll go back to Capcom and make the next Akami.
Dude, I would love for him to go. Like, what if they said, hey, you get a small team you could put together, or a mid-sized team, put together an Okami game that's within budget, or a new Beautiful Joe game that's within budget in today's day with the tools and stuff that they have. Like you could
use the RE engine.
I would, man, just please. That would be great.
I don't see him going back.
I don't see him going back. I'm just saying that would be dope.
Well,
I don't see him going back.
He's got to stop posting pictures from the bathroom. That's number one. If he's going back to Capcom.
He's not. You made a comment that he was talkative with the public. I don't think blocking people for asking a question is necessarily, like, I get that's his gimmick or whatever, but I mean,
I'm saying he's recognizable to the public. He's like their mascot. If you saw Kamiya, you thought of Platinum Games immediately. Yes, maybe he's blocking people, but people kind of made it as a joke. I mean, it was one of the tiers for Wonderful 101. You get blocked by Kamiya. He's blocked and unblocked me 4 times, by the way.
Yeah, he's blocked and unblocked me. I think twice. But yeah, I've never even said anything to him when I got blocked. Like I legit, the first time, okay, I got blocked because I was saying, hey, I like your work, so I get that. you know. But the second I asked one of my friends to have him to unblock me, he unblocked me. Then all of a sudden, randomly, I was blocked again, and I never tweeted at him. I never said anything to him. Blocked me again. I'm like, why? What did I do?
I have no idea. I don't know how that works over there, but
he talked to the Japanese audience though. If you speak Japanese, you're good.
That's how you know it's a big deal, because he put his response out in English.
Yeah,
so that's how you know things are going down. So that's another story that we don't have any real context to, and I'd be curious to know what happened there behind the scenes between him and Platinum Games. So that maybe someone will get the story on that. I don't know. Yep. What did you say, Sean? You cut out.
Well, I said I think Josie will get the scoop on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was like, what is happening? I thought everyone asked me a question and my Wi-Fi just went out, and I was like, no.
Did you
Not
fix your
now.
Wi-Fi? Because it hasn't messed up at all
Yet.
It's so temperamental, and so like it's fine, and then sometimes it's not fine. So we've just been
Josie,
lucky.
all you gotta do is dress up as like Jean, and he'll definitely give you the scoop on what happened.
There you go.
Just wear the red bodysuit like Jean from Bayonetta, and you'll absolutely get.
I thought you said John, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did too.
No.
Cut her hairline back, put on some glasses.
Nintendo t-shirt.
I meant Bayonetta. Not
How do I do
Spawnwaves.
that? What do you? Wait, like tweet at him on Twitter.
Yeah,
But you need to be dressed. You need to be dressed up as the character.
He responds to a lot of
Cosplayers.
if you see his timeline is a lot of cosplay retweets and
So
Yikes.
and, like I follow him and randomly you'll just see him all caps yelling at someone, and it's a quoted tweet of like someone cosplaying.
I don't know. I get some weird comments, and everyone only sees from here up. So like, I don't know, man.
The outfit's not bad. It's a normal. Is it a normal? It's a normal. Like when
Did you say it was skin tight red?
Yeah, it's kind
Just
of
a red bodysuit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. No, or you can do a Bayonetta 3 outfit. That one's like a Helga Pataki type of like.
Are you sure this is for Camilla or you, OJ? Come on.
Yeah. Do you want the photo set?
That's the $100 tier on Patreon.
There it is.
I got my wife dressing up as Twintel. It's okay. It's all good.
I don't need to know about your freaking love life. Jesus.
Good lord, OJ.
Let me go over to some of the super chats here. We have Strange, who says, can't watch live today, so just wanted to give love. Thanks, Strange. Truly says, anyone on the cast been enjoying Gen V on Prime? I have not watched it yet.
I have not seen it yet, but I need to watch it.
First episode went up yesterday, was it?
Yeah, yesterday. I need to watch it. I think it's weekly, right? It's like weekly episodes.
I think it's like how they do The Boys, where every
Yeah. I need to check it out. I think I'll watch it tomorrow.
Let's see. This is from Jeff, who says, I'm surprised to see Spawnwave post an X video. I thought for sure RGT would be the first to post there.
It's true.
Always a chance.
Sean, you might want to think about that, bro. That might be some big money for you, bro.
There you go.
Hey, secure the bag.
The X video bag. Yep.
Again, shout out to Nandito Hernandez. And then we have Joshua, who says, for Fire OJ, he doesn't like cheesecake.
No, I don't like. I'm lactose intolerant, so stuff with like like a lot of dairy or whatever is like not good for me.
That just sounds like a challenge to me for you. Come on.
Chris says, congratulations, OJ.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Edison says, do you guys think Embracer Group and Epic Games grew too quickly? I think Embracer Group did. I think Epic Games just caught lightning in a bottle with Fortnite and been trying to continue that ever since. Sonic says, Peter Morph for PlayStation. Always liked him. There you go.
He's going to roll up his sleeve. It's going to say PlayStation.
Hey, Don Matrix out there somewhere. All right.
Where is he? Is he not doing the Zanga things?
I don't know.
now?
I have to imagine. I figure PlayStation might be a little more appealing than, who knows? Maybe he's happy where he is. Ryan says, congrats, OJ. Wish you and the fam all the best.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the support. It's been wild.
And then Zbat says, shout out OJ for 10 years on YouTube.
Thank you. Yeah. It's long. So many things have been changed in 10 years in terms of YouTube tools and everything, but it's a blessing to still be here, man. Most people that I started with are not making content anymore.
Okay, this might be Evan's time to shine. Here we go.
Fuck?
Amin says, has anyone from the Spawncast played the biggest PC game of the year, aka Counter-Strike 2?
Not yet.
Oh, what about Josie?
Me?
They said
Why
Evan
was
and Josie. That's it.
why?
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
Josie will be on that. Don't worry.
Update looks
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
but if I'm going playing CS:GO, I'm learning CS:GO. I'm spending the
Evan will
time
get serious.
figuring out all
He'll
the
be
maps.
serious with this game. Yeah.
Because that's how you play it. If you got the people who look at a lamp, look right, take 3 steps left, throw the grenade that lands in the spawn point. Like I got to get there if I'm playing it.
With says CEOs are rarely fired. Ryan was clearly pushed out. Alvin says when the CMA cave, Jim found a dead koi fish on his pillow. He did the smart thing and got out of there. Epic says, what's your favorite pop punk emo bands or just other bands? Pop punk emo bands.
I mean, Newfound Glory is pretty good.
Josie.
I don't listen to that at all.
Just Sean. All right. Sean seems to do all kinds of music here.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, AFI is good too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Connor Price.
Okay,
He has good
nobody knows who
songs.
that is.
Like your neighbor.
Well,
or-
just throwing it out there.
Jalen says everyone should check out Castlevania Nocturne. Definitely a
I
must
watched
watch
it. It was all
for
right.
Castlevania fans. Okay.
I gotta check it out.
This is from Demi, who says, sad to see off-brand Gordon Ramsay go. Even though he's done some ass stuff, he still has done many great things for PlayStation itself. Ian says, new Switch will be like the DS. It will have a slot for original Switch cartridges, but all new system software will be digital only. Thoughts? We're getting a new cartridge. We're getting a new cartridge format.
Yeah.
We are.
No.
Yeah.
For DS though, it'd be interesting if they had if there was no dock and it was just wireless to your TV with a dongle, and then you can have 2 screens or foldable screen. Hey, don't discount foldable screens. That'd be cool. Child says Game Informer will not send me a magazine.
Why? I thought you could ask for it digitally or physically when you sign up.
Yeah, do they still ship those out? Because I see the covers.
I think they do, but I have a pro membership, but it's just digital.
Yeah, I don't get them shipped out anymore either. I don't know who I have to talk to for that.
Yeah, I want to get them shipped out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, sometimes they have those months where the cover looks awesome. So
Man, that used to be like the best thing. Like when you got that magazine in the mail, it used to be like, oh, here we go. This was before internet was like.
yeah, now it's like, look how old all this news is.
Yeah, I know, serious. But back then it was lit, dude.
This is from Joe. It says, been watching the VODs for over a year at work. I'm finally off to catch you guys live. Appreciate all the content. Thanks, Joe. Alfie says, planning anything special for 500 million views? I was not, because I was not aware of that, but I will look. Thanks, Alfie. Maybe we'll figure something out for that. Shinru says, evening Spawncast, got myself 4K TV for less than $200. Maybe it's my eyes, but I can't tell the difference between 1080p to 4K yet. It's a Samsung QLED with UHD. Any thoughts? Great show as always.
That's where you find out it's like a 10-inch TV.
I mean, there must have been a good sale going on to get it for less than $200 for a Samsung QLED.
Are you sure it's a set? It's not like a Yam Young.
It also
It's
depends
not
on
like-
what device you have hooked up to it. Because if you're watching cable TV, for example, on your old TV, then you go to that one, it's going to look almost the same. But if you have an Xbox Series X or a PS5, just as an example, that can do 4K, HDR, and all this stuff, you should see a pretty big difference between 1080p and then 4K HDR with your Samsung QLED. So that you also will want to check your HDMI cable to make sure it is that like the HDMI 2 and up, which your PS5 and Series X come with those cables. So make sure you use the ones out of the box for those, if that's the case. All right. Let's talk very quickly about the PlayStation Portal. Because there have been some surprising results so far, although it's very early on with pre-orders. With it actually, all right, so Genki posted something up that it sold out in Japan, right? I think they were translating stuff, and then it popped up that it sold out Amazon US, and it's actually tracking shockingly well on the Amazon charts. Now, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's revenue based or quantity based for Amazon charts. I'm not sure which one it is.
Quantity based off of time period. So if you get a lot of sales in a short amount of time, it'll boost you up. You know, it'll boost you up into the top sales chart. So
Okay.
it's doing whatever stock they had, they're selling of whatever stock they have. So it's
Right.
doing, but we don't know how much stock they have. That's the only problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as of now, right now anyway, it was tracking up basically above all other accessories, and I think the only thing that jumped ahead of it recently was the Meta Quest 3 at $500. But otherwise, for new releases or ones that just came out, it was like up there with, what was it, Roblox gift cards and Nintendo gift cards, and it was right there with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So I will admit, I was a little surprised by that result, because I didn't necessarily think that the market would respond in that way immediately out of the gate. But I also wonder how many people may have bought this thing thinking it's just a PlayStation handheld. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out reasons other than maybe people are thinking like me, where I can just play it while I'm watching football on Sundays.
There's definitely, like, let's just say, 1 million people that were excited for it, right? If 1 million people were excited for it, or let's just say, I don't know, like 400,000 people were excited for it. Yeah, a lot of the hardcore fans are going to rush out there and get it. I mean, we saw that with Wii U, right? We saw that with PS Vita. We see that with all of the Xbox Series S and X in Japan sold out instantly. So we see this with, like, at the beginning. So to me, it wasn't too surprising. But what's going to be surprising to me is if it's able to keep that for a long period of time, which a lot of these things usually don't with accessories, you know, because it's not its own system. So I don't know if it's going to be able to sustain, but I think that, yeah, like the hardcore fans are going to rush out there and buy every bit of it, like at the beginning. So that's not really too much of a surprise to me. Heck, I mean, I ended up just saying, whatever, let me try it out. If I don't like it, I'll just take it back. So I did that at Best Buy.
You picked one up too?
Yeah, I just put it at Best Buy.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to, but I was like, if I don't
direct store.
Yeah, if I don't like it, I can just take it back, but let me just test it out. I mean, people were talking about it. Let me just try it. I wasn't going to, but I was like, you know, I mean, $200 is like, it's not the best, obviously, because it's not like its own system, but I mean, it's not like it's the worst thing ever, you know? I've spent worse, you know, when it comes down to it.
I mean, I will say if it works well enough through like a router and all of this, then it could be an interesting enough device to still use the DualSense controllers and all of that.
Because I use Remote Play on my Vita and I hated it. I was like, this is terrible. Like I did not like it. And I have a good router and good internet, so I'm hoping that it's better than that. If it's better than that, then maybe this is a dub. But I want to see how it holds, like when you go into sleep mode, like when it comes back. I want to see all the other things, like does it disconnect? How long does it take to connect? Like all of those things, not in an IGN room where they have everything in perfect condition, right? Or everything right there to make sure everything works fine. Then they record a video. So whether I keep it or not will be based off of that. And if it works perfectly and smoothly and it's, you know, then that's good. You know, that's really good. But
did you get one of these things, Sean?
No.
Really? Oh man, I got it on the PlayStation Direct store, but I didn't know it was going to be on Amazon or in Best Buy. Like all of a sudden, it started popping up on all these retailers. So
yeah, I think it's still available on Best Buy, maybe if you want one.
I guess they're just stocking it basically everywhere as a control. I feel like they're just stocking it as an accessory, a controller. And that's kind of it, because we won't even see it in like the sales charts or anything. So we'll never really. I mean, the MPD. I know Matt does post about what the most successful accessory in the US is, which is the DualSense Edge controller that costs the same as the Portal at $200. There's a chance that it could rack up enough sales and revenue to be up there in the MPD charts, but it's off to a good start so far. I don't know if you're Sony, how do you read this? Do you read this as people really want a remote play device from us, or do you read this as maybe people want a handheld from us, like an actual Sony handheld?
Ooh, that's tough. I think you'd only read it as people want it handled if you get the internal data. How often are people using this? If you get that data and it says that people, while they're at home and they're using it a lot, like let's say you have this many PS5 users compared to this many people that have bought it, and there's an overwhelming majority of people that are using it like that, even when they have clear access to their TV and everything, then I think that can give you some data, like positive data that people do want a portable and you can make another one. But if it's just like such a situational thing and it's not really being used like that, kind of like how the Backbone is kind of being used like that, then obviously, you know, you might not want to invest in another platform unless you really want to make something and make it good, you know?
John O came in with a $200 super chat.
Let's go, John
Shout out
O.
to John O. Jeez, John O. Of course, he didn't meet over at Too Many Games. A big supporter over on the Spawncast network. Shout out to John O. Says, congrats, OJ. Congrats to OJ.
Thank you, sir.
Then said, RGT just bought your book. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And looking at another monitor, a 49-inch Samsung or something 34 to 40-inch ultra wide and gaming specs, most important. Hope everyone had a great week and y'all enjoy the rest of the weekend. I actually ended up with a pretty good ultra wide LG monitor, John, with G-Sync. And this one's, I feel like a 34-inch
OLED.
No, it's LC. It's 144 hertz. So I went for the higher refresh rate with G-Sync, and it is an amazing experience with the right video card. Because if you can touch in that like 100 frames or up with G-Sync, the whole
What
thing
about like a 30
butter smooth?
A 3080? 3080 would that work?
3080 would work fine for that. That's the thing with 1440. I think is still the resolution to get right now.
Oh yeah.
Because of that higher refresh rate and G-Sync combined, it gives you an incredible experience. But yeah, anything like 3070 and up, I feel like you can get around that with the right settings. So that's, although if you're gonna 49-inch Samsung, John, if it's like, is it like the Odyssey one? I know you're talking about. It's this ridiculous looking widescreen that people have on their desk.
My buddy has that.
All the way around. That thing looks crazy.
The issue though is the distance between it and your face where you're sitting, because you are going to want to push that thing back, because it gets really weird when you're playing games on it and you're actually like turning side to side to check stuff.
I was going to say, it looks like it surrounds you almost. That's what I've always wanted to see in person though, John, and I've thought about it.
It's at my friend's house. I could probably
for productivity. If you said it's over here for productivity, it might not be. For gaming, it might be. Because I do like this one is like just goes to the peripheral for the widescreen, but that Odyssey.
But yeah, but that's the trick. Since it is ultra wide, it still has like a top and bottom that's about the same distance as like a regular monitor. So if you're playing it close to try to get the top and bottom at your ultimate peripheral vision, and then the wide comes into play, that's when you're having to like peek around. Whereas if you can go slightly smaller, it might work out better from up close.
Okay, yeah, I need to double check what monitor I ended up with for this one. Now I think it's like maybe 2 years old now, but it can I find the model number on here? I'll see what I can figure out. But this one's done really well for me in that 1440p range, but I can't push back on that Odyssey. That thing would be ridiculous if I had this desk space.
No, yeah. My friend's chair is like always back, and he's just...
Yeah. Is it like grandma's boy where you just like recline back and it's hanging on the ceiling? Yeah. Good stuff there. Let me go over to. We do have to talk about the Epic Game thing too. Oh, man, Epic Games going through it, and the Sega stuff. Just live services in general. We have to go over. It was an ugly week for it. Let me just double check the super chats and go with Era, who says, wasn't trying to troll last week, just going for a laugh. As usual, fell flat. Love you guys since day one. By the way, we want our bodies back. Still want a Metal Warriors remake. Armajet meets Metal Warriors. MVG, do it. MVG's going to get right on that.
He's doing it right now. Carbon Engine.
We're doing it, but we still support the Unity engine. We love the Unity engine.
Do they?
Yeah, they love the Unity engine. Fuck those developers. Pay the money to Unity.
Samuel says, have you beaten Starfield? 20 hours in, and I think I'm throwing in the towel. There's a great game in there, but I don't want to spend hours customizing my ship or building an outpost. I did beat Starfield. And
you don't have to build an outpost. You can just buy a ship.
I actually, in that case, for the outpost building, I would recommend just going to beat the game.
Yeah.
To be honest, and then work on your outpost, because you're going to be really annoyed if you build a cool outpost and then you beat the game, is all I'm going to say. So I would recommend going through and just experience the story, experience the twists and turns that it has there for you. Enjoy they've talked about New Game Plus. Enjoy that kind of the aspect. It's very unique. And then I would work on your outpost. That'd be if you're 20 hours in though, how long did it take me to beat the game? I have my hours. I could look.
I think I got to 35 and then just stopped playing.
I think it was under 40 hours to beat the game for everything I was doing. Yeah, I think so. You might have been close then, Evan, if you were just
No,
going
I know
through
I
this
am. I just got so
story
bored.
aspect.
I bought a ship and then I cleared like 10 side missions and realized I had never seen the inside of my ship. Like I just kept fast traveling everywhere. And I was like, this is not fun. And then I just stopped.
I stole a lot of ships.
I stole a couple, but I bought a C class that I wanted.
Yeah. I bought a ship too, but I was stealing. I realized I could just walk up when I saw a ship land and just wipe everyone out and take their ship and just fly off with it. So
not all of them. Sometimes you go up to them and you get to the ladder and you're like, yeah, I want this ship, and it's like you can't get in here, and that it won't even let you pick it. It won't let you do anything. You're just like, well, okay, and then you just leave.
Oh, the Andrew says they have 150 hours in Outpost and haven't touched the story. You'd be real mad.
Josie, do you like the Outposts? What do you think about the Outposts?
I gave up on Starfield.
Oh,
I'm not doing Starfield.
Josie's out.
There's so many the open world games this year. I'm like kind of burnt out on them. So
burnt out on open world. Yeah, I kind of give up till I'll wait for a few updates and stuff, and maybe they'll optimize, like add like the maps, and like they said they're going to add maps and like city maps and stuff. So I'll just wait for a few updates, probably like a couple of years, and then I'll just, whenever the ultimate edition comes out or whatever, I'll be like, all right,
after the modders add everything and then they release the collection of all the best mods, it'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think it's not a bad move.
Josie, don't worry, Josie. You got Liza P is right there. You can play that.
Perfect.
It's a good one.
Actually, I was looking at that.
Be a good boy, Pinocchio.
I'm a little over 15 hours into that. It's pretty good.
Like Bloodborne. Yeah. I've seen a lot of gameplay. It looks like Bloodborne-ish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very good.
Can't find it anywhere physical.
No. I just grabbed it on Game Pass when they added it. No. I feel like I'll find it at some point when it's like discounted heavily or something and grab it.
If they ever make any physical copies of it.
Well, yeah.
There's like 5.
Let's talk about the week of lives. It's almost like a live service purge to a degree. All the stuff that was going on. Epic Games announced that they were laying off 16% of their employees, which apparently is roughly 850 to 900 people. And this also includes, I saw some on Twitter mention that they were part of the Unreal team as well. So it wasn't just like people on Fortnite or anything. It was just across the board. And according to a letter that was posted by Tim Sweeney, they had been spending more money than they were earning. And
I'll do it.
And that's the reason they had to go this route. And that's what he said. And they said that they are trying to grow Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators. That's the plan going forward.
Cap. We all see, bro. We see your salaries. You Epic people are a bunch of liars. We see your salaries. Y'all making crazy money. Stop the cap, man. They think that we're dumb.
That's what he said.
Oh, we were spending more. Yeah, maybe because you're making like $20 million a year. Maybe that's why you're spending so much, buddy.
Yeah. So, according to all they admitted to me there was Fortnite's not making enough money, so we have to cut people. That's like one of the biggest red flags I've ever seen for live services. Fortnite is not making the money we need. So we have to downsize our workforce. Like Fortnite showing weakness. That's not good.
How insane are their salaries? They're like wild, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
they make a lot of money.
So then just cut your salary. I don't know. The whole thing's kind of stupid to me, but I think it also shows that a lot of these live service games just aren't super sustainable because the company is going to get greedy. They're going to want to take more and more. And then eventually there's just going to be nothing for the bottom line and the game's going to crap out, like exactly what's going on.
Yeah, because we also had Sega announce that. So this is really weird. Hyenas got canceled. All right. And some people maybe forgot about Hyenas. They showed it off a bit more at Gamescom. They ran betas for this game, and from what I understand, the game was done, and they canceled it before it came out. And I think it was coming out soon.
It's gut wrenching for the developers, man. Like you've worked years on this, and all of a sudden, no.
This was definitely a spur of the moment decision because the developers were scheduled to give like a talk or a presentation around this game like this week coming up. I think it was related to like Unreal or something, but they were supposed to be giving like a collaborative talk, and now Creative Assembly apparently is going through it to where they're going to restructure is the idea, which just sounds like layoffs to me. It sounds like they're cutting out redundancies, as they call them, and all of this. And they've already announced that they're going to post a loss in their next fiscal year. Like, it's just happening. They're just basically
Sega as a whole.
Sega, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, this apparently their European division hurt them pretty bad, so they're just like, we're losing money in this fiscal year. We're just telling you now to get it out of the way. So it's looking at the Hyenas gets canceled. They said unannounced games got canceled as well. There are games we don't know about that they just cut out at this point. Like, they saw them, they said no, and that's it. But it's weird because Sega is still working on these super games that also sound like live service titles.
Weren't the super ones also tied to like cryptocurrency stuff?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that too. Yeah, cryptocurrency, metaverse.
Good plan.
And I don't think it has anything to do with those rumored games like Jet Set Radio. What was the other one that was rumored? It was like Comics or something. I can tell you Jet Set Radio is one that does seem to be in development. But if it's live service, that might be a bad idea at this time. I would look to just make a regular game. It sounds crazy, but that might be the move. Because I don't know about anyone else. This feels like live service games. Like, that dam is breaking at this point. I think we're at that inflection point. I looked up some of the games that got shut down just this year alone after seeing Hyenas not even make it out, like not even release. Let's see, Gundam Evolution shut down.
Damn.
That lasted half a year, I think.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that was like less than a year. It like launched late last year, then like shut down this year.
Yeah, it launched into December, I think, and then shut down it's shutting down in November or something like that. So yeah, less than a year. Friday the 13th shut down. That, of course, having to do more with the licensing around it, but still, they banked a live service game on licensing that was obviously going to run up at some point. Vampire the Masquerade, Blood Hunt, Babylon's Fall, Final Fantasy VII, First Soldier, Battlefield Mobile, Apex Legends Mobile, Knockout City, Rumbleverse, Crossfire X, and Marvel's Avengers. Actually, Marvel's Avengers got delisted today. And then, of course, Hyenas.
Rest in pepperoni.
They were selling it for $3.
Yes. Yeah, they were. They're selling service. And you can technically play it. Like, they made it so that you don't need like to be online or anything to play it anymore. They fixed up all of that, shut down the shops and all. So you can experience what is a very boring game at times, if you would like.
Mid-tier beat 'em up game.
Yeah, it's one that was clearly structured around live services. So to me, it just feels like a lot of companies are about to cancel games or put games out that are just not going to do well, and they'll be gone a year later. That's why when people are talking about Foam Stars, and I was like, is this thing free to play? Is that sort of the route they're going? Is this live service? I'm trying to figure out, because for a while their live service games were making money. Obviously, Fortnite in 2018 made $3.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Now it makes like a third or less of that, 25% even. And it's just been a downward decline. It's just been declining this entire time. Sony has 7 more live service games to announce. I'm sure Microsoft's probably working on a couple as well. I think it's gonna be some rough waters ahead right now.
Just say it. The live service bubble is bursting.
I think it is.
It is, and it's been that way it's been going in that direction.
I think it's more deflating because, I mean, consider going into like the COVID era, how everyone was like moving into staying at home, trying to figure out shit to do at home. Now we are drastically gradiating out to just being regular, just going outside, doing whatever the hell you want. Since live service games compete for your time and compete for you to have to sit there and focus on it, now people are kind of done with it. And I feel like that we're seeing like kind of the reverse of like what game companies were worried about when COVID was starting. Now we're just watching it deflate. And it's like,
you also think that I think that like the bump that we've seen, like the single player quality too this year as well. Like there's a lot of good games, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, that you could just play. You don't have to worry about all this logging in and all this other stuff like that. You got Baldur's Gate this year. You just got a bunch of dope games from the start of the year all the way through. So I think that people are just kind of like stop wasting your life rotting away playing dumbass live service games 24/7. Like, experience a story. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually play something that has like meaning instead of just the same dropping down into a map 24/7 and shooting people. It's pointless. There's like no value to some of these games, right? You just do the same thing over and over. There's no real story. There's no real anything. You get nothing out of the experience. Almost.
But the value is doing it with people, which you couldn't do for like 3 or 4 years.
But what else? But you just keep doing the same thing. Like, at least if you're playing a single player story, like, you get some type of emotional connection or value out of it.
Yes, with your friends.
But how many times are you going to do that? Or what if somebody gets married, or what if somebody has more kids and they can't play? There's different time schedules. It becomes to the point where you don't feel like playing that game anymore. Like, I used to play games all the time online with my friends. I stopped. They stopped playing. I stopped playing online with them. Yes, you can make new friends, but people move on from this type of shit. Like, let's not act like people don't. Like, people aren't playing Fortnite like they used to. They don't have the ninja buff. They don't have the Drake buff. They don't have all that stuff that they had before. That stuff's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not all gone. I feel like it vanished for you, and you're putting that on other people. I still play games with friends now.
It's resulting in but we're seeing less people in it right now. So I'm not saying that it's all gone.
That's what I'm saying. It's deflating. Because now I'd rather go out and do something with people.
So I said it's starting to burst, right? It's starting to burst. But Evan, like, you're playing, you played Street Fighter, right?
For a bit, yeah.
You played Remnant, or you were playing that Remnant game, right?
No, I didn't play Remnant, but I did. You
didn't play, okay.
I did a tank through Payday 3's shitty matchmaking, and then I actually started getting into some games.
So I don't know. I just think that there's so many games. There's so many games that compete for your time. Not at this point, and everyone's doing live service. Like, it's going to drop off. And there's like dope single player games. There's dope indie games. I don't know, man. I just don't find sitting there dropping into maps 24/7 as appealing anymore. It was cool in 2018, 2019, whatever. But I got kind of tired of that. That's just me, though.
I think it becomes harder when you're trying to keep one game going and expecting growth out of it constantly for 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Eventually you feel like you want to bring out a sequel to get the hypes train going again and get people all excited for it. And it feels there's a lot of fatigue that sets in when you realize you are just the same game, updates stacked on top of it, like a Fortnite for so many years.
It's the same for those who are just saying, oh, it's like whatever, you just don't like. It's the same with me in Smash, dude. You guys know I'm a huge Smash fan. I don't play Smash. It's okay. I can go kick somebody's ass with Joker online so many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it. I've got them all to elite. I'm good. Like, it's whatever. You know, like, I might play locally, like with a friend there, but I'm not gonna be sitting there going online and playing people 24/7 in Smash Brothers all the time. And that's like my favorite online game. You know, so.
I think that a lot of the live service games that aren't Fortnite go in expecting to be Fortnite sort of and make this obscene amount of profit. And that's just not the right mindset to have, because they don't have the licensing abilities and they don't have like the wonder that was Fortnite when it came out. And so it just makes it, like I said earlier, just very unsustainable. And that's why we're seeing all of these games crash, because they go in thinking they're going to make tons and tons of money, and then they don't. And then they have no backup plan. They don't actually have a good game underneath this free-to-play garbage that they put out.
No single-player content.
So it just kind of fizzles.
Some people don't care about the single-player content.
No, yeah, some people don't.
I'm not talking about you, Josie. I was talking about OJ.
Yeah.
But to be clear,
she said that there's nothing underneath like their crappy game. There's no single-player content. And also, if things get shut down, it becomes nothing.
But to be clear, though, Fortnite launched as shit. Fortnite was a co-op anti-zombie horde mode situation. Friggin' PUBG released, and then they turned it into a mod within Fortnite, which then made Fortnite successful after being unsuccessful for like 2-3 years.
Josie, are you alluding to the idea that they come up with the business model, the monetization strategy, and then they try to build out something that resembles a game afterwards? Because something I think it's just go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, it just feels like it's all about money for these live service games, and there's no like actual passion behind what they're putting out. And so once you get to the like the actual game underneath all this stuff that they've thrown at you, it's not really much of anything, and then it fizzles out. Fortnite, I feel like, has stayed sort of relevant just because of all the random shit that gets thrown into it all the time. And it's really easily accessible. Like, I've played this with my parents. Like, it's a decent game. But I just think for all the other ones, they look at Fortnite and they're like, that's what I want to be. And they're not even going to come remotely close.
Yeah, it's probably easier to convince the executives when you're trying to make the pitch and you just put Fortnite on the whiteboard.
Yeah, you're like, look, this is going to be us in like a year. We're going to be just like Fortnite, and that's just not going to happen.
I would just like them to actually like build out a game build out a game too, like have some other content in there. So if the online drops off or dips, at least there's something for people to do. So it's not just, well, the online shut down, guess you can't, it's done. It's over.
That just adds to the budgeting though. And you're just having less of a game all around.
I really think the issue there also is these games are always feel so far behind because it takes forever to make these games now. So Suicide Squad, when that got shown, which people, by the way, have forgotten about this game completely now. No, people don't even remember that we saw Suicide Squad at this point, or that Rocksteady attempted this and it got put back in the oven, which I don't think that game's going to change that much when it does eventually release next year. That's a game that I bet you if they could have snapped their fingers and it just existed in 2017 or even 2018, I think it would have been okay. Like it would have come out and people would be like, oh yeah, all right, this is fine. Now it just felt, when they showed it and we're shooting little purple orbs on like these big creatures, and then they show you the menu of all the numbers and equipment spots, and it's like, this feels old and unnecessary. It's just it took them forever to make that game, and it feels like it was way too late to the party. And I have concerns about that with Sony's one. I have concerns about with that, especially when we hear like Jason Schreier put out an article yesterday that they themselves internally not as excited about the live service stuff as you'd think, really, right? A little shaky in terms of the confidence on making it work. So
listen, that was made. This is what Rocksteady chose to make over like a new Batman game. I'm just saying, instead of a new big Batman game, this is what they chose to make.
Did they choose to make it? Do we think like what if
they wanted to make?
But what if they were
Rockstar
told
has enough pull to where they this is what they wanted to make?
Maybe, but what if they were told to make a live service game and then they were like, well, I guess we could do Batman, but we wouldn't want to ruin it.
I wonder if they got I do wonder if they got kind of leaned on a bit. I mean, you feel like you did Batman, you could have gone to like Superman or something from there, and let's do this. Let's do what we did with Batman, but let's focus on Superman now. And I feel like that would have been the better path, but instead they went Suicide Squad and they went live service. And I don't even think Suicide Squad was a good IP for them to use to try to hold up a live service game in the first place.
I think it sounded cool, like at the time that they were planning it, it was probably like, oh, Suicide. Like there was the movies, right? There was the movies, and there was but
it took forever to make. That's the problem. It took so long to make.
I mean, the thing about the quality in terms of like the shooting and stuff the graphics and the shooting and all that look really good. It's just all the other live service.
I like the story. The story sounds cool too. I'm like, all right, I'm on board with that. But then they show what it is, and it's like, it just feels like something out of 2018. Yeah,
the talent is there, man. But it's just unfortunate that, I mean, we'll see how the game comes out. Like we're gonna try it out, right? You guys are all gonna try it out.
I will get it. It's Rocksteady. I'll give it a shot.
No, you guys aren't even gonna try it out.
I will. They made Arkham Asylum after.
Yeah, I gotta try it out. But I'll be honest, man. I am really like deficient, right? Like I really want something from them because they were such a staple on the 360 and the PS3. You know, like it was like you got your Batman, you got your Arkham Origins wasn't from them, but you got 3 of games, right, back to back to back, pretty much in a pretty good amount of time, and we've had nothing. Like we've literally, it's been like how long? What was
you liked Arkham Asylum, didn't you, Josie?
To be honest, I don't know if I remember it.
Put it on the list. Games for Josie to play.
Arkham Asylum. Let's go.
I played the first Arkham game. Is that Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, good. Although Sean will tell you need to play City.
Oh yeah, City.
Most people say City is the best one.
City's goated. I think it's still like one of the best.
Yeah, it's coming up on the Switch, and so Sean will probably get a look at that port at least here soon.
I have it on every other console I own, so might as well.
I think I played Arkham Origins or something like that.
That was on the Wii U.
That was on the Wii U.
That was on the Wii U, right?
Arkham Origins, it's okay. It's not terrible.
It's good.
I played that and I played the first one.
People people like to shit on Arkham Origins,
They
and I
do,
don't
yeah.
really get why. Because I think the ending of that game, that's like one of the endings of games that like still sticks out vividly in my mind. And I have
The story's cool.
game.
Yeah, if you're a Batman fan, the
fucking
story's really cool in that game. It's just some of the gameplay, like the frame rate stuff, like some of the gameplay's a little, because it wasn't made by Rocksteady, so it's like, you know. But the story is so good, it's worth a play, especially if you're a huge Batman fan. You know, like I like Batman, so it was cool.
We're just gonna give you like 100 different games to play over like.
I know.
Yeah, seems like
We
it.
always-
Like
we
always like
do. Sorry, Josie.
Flocking them down a bit.
What are you playing right now, Josie? After Mario 2?
Mario 3. I'm like on World 7 right now.
Let's
That's
go.
right. You said you were.
I
want to
beat all of them.
Right.
Yeah, I want to beat
Let's-
all of them
Okay.
Let's
back
yo,
in
Josie.
the day.
That's right.
You should, and then once you finish all of them in your videos, put a mega mix of all the like one video.
Oh yeah, no, I have a crazy plan for the video.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mario
So I'm gonna
3.
play like all the 2D ones, like World. I'm debating if I should put World 2 on there because it's more of a Yoshi game than a Mario game.
Oh
but
no, you got to put it on there. Yoshi's Island or Super Mario World 2,
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island. Oh yeah, you got to
Yeah.
you got to have it on there. And that
All
game's have you
I'll
played
put
it yet?
Yoshi's Island. I've played a little bit. I haven't beaten it. So.
That game's incredible. Like I mean I like, and some people don't like Crying Mario, but Crying Baby, but I mean I love that
Sean
game
doesn't like crying,
Sean,
baby
that's
Mario.
Sean's
I love that
favorite
game.
sound effect in games.
so much. Added a whole element of difficulty to the game.
Annoyance.
Yeah, I just picture
Exactly.
Sean stressing out in his living room by himself with that baby floating around. Do you think this is going to be an issue though for Sony then if they have all these live service games in development right now? Do you think one of them's going to hit? Are one of them going to hit?
No.
Any of
One's
them?
gonna hit.
One
One's
will, you
gonna
think?
hit. I mean,
Think so?
one's gotta
No.
hit. But
They'll attach one of their IPs to it, and
Horizon?
Horizon is gonna. I think Horizon is one of them. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be like
man.
that Monster Hunter Online kind of.
Horizon will hit. Horizon will. I think it'll hit,
do you
even
think
if it's not as.
Do you think it'll be a full hit, or do you think it'll be that everyone starts out and they love it, but then not enough comes out after?
You know what's weird about this Horizon franchise? Whenever I do a poll about Sony intellectual properties, it's always the last one that gets voted for. I feel like it's me and like 3 other people who like the Horizon series. I think that like it's weird because I feel like enough of them sell.
It sells. No, it sells big. It's sold like
Anytime
8
I
million
talk
copies.
to somebody, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that ain't Horizon Forbidden West. They're like, I hate the Horizon series. I'm like, what? Why? What happened? I don't know.
They
It's,
always come out at such a bad time, though. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Breath of the Wild. Oh, Tears of the Kingdom. Great, we got a new Horizon game.
I think it's because some people just they might like, but they don't like Aloy. Like I think
Yeah.
that maybe that's like the character is they don't like Aloy. Like they like Ellie or they like Last of Us or whatever.
And Abby. They like Abby.
And well, maybe not her, but they like Joel. Well, they did past tense.
Spoilers. Yikes.
They like it's like character based. Like they love Ghost of Tsushima. Like they like that character, but I think people just dislike Aloy because like they're like she never shuts up. I think that was your problem that you had, Sean. She never shuts the hell up in the
These
game.
people are trying to build a narrative. Someone stop them.
Well, let's say it
Well, I
drops.
mean, here's
I feel
the
like
thing with this Horizon game, though, right? You'll make your own character. There you go.
yeah, but
Go
I feel
ahead.
like when it drops, everyone's just gonna be like, it's just Becca version of Monster Hunter. So
Mm,
Good, but Horizon's still a strong IP. I mean, it could end up like Wild Hearts, right? It could end up like that game, or it could, actually be something. I think Horizon's strong enough to where people will they'll have some type of base to play through.
yeah. That's the thing. I guess they could attach an IP like I think SOCOM would work well as their Call of Duty counterpart, but unless they're being really good about keeping it secretive, I don't.
Is
know
Factions
about
live
that.
serve? I mean, that's gonna hit. That's gotta hit, right? If
They
that
sent
ever-
it back to the oven. Bungie looked at it and said, "It's not done yet." And
Well,
sent
whenever
back.
it is done, that's gotta hit. If it's anywhere near as good as the Last of Us multiplayer, and they make it even better, that would have to be that would hit. I think that would definitely be a hit.
It's weird because I feel like they probably built just a regular Factions game, and Bungie was like, "There's nowhere for a battle pass. Send it back," and that might have been it. Unfortunately, that might have been really what happened.
Yeah.
Which, because Naughty Dog has they don't have the experience to put in a battle pass or craft a game around it. They could make a really good game, right? But where does the money come from? Basically, is
all
what
of
they
their
ask. I
multiplayers,
don't know.
all their multiplayers were like, "Oh, you get to unlock stuff normally. You get to actually play the game and you unlock."
They had microtransactions in there, sure, but like the battle pass of now is like significantly different because the entire game is structured around battle passes.
I don't know
really.
anybody who spent money on those Uncharted multiplayers.
No,
I don't know. Did you spend? I don't know anybody that actually
I
spent money
did,
in those
but
games.
I feel like other people did when they killed me really fast. At least I blamed it on them.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Fine,
All the people that because I used to play Uncharted multiplayer all the time. Like Uncharted 2 multiplayer, it was nuts. I mean, could you spend money? I don't even remember even being able to spend money in that game. Like
I feel like they had microtransactions in most of those. I feel like they did. I didn't play a lot of Uncharted multiplayer. I actually played Metal Gear Solid multiplayer.
I played a ton of Uncharted 2 multiplayer. Maybe the chat can help me out here, but I don't remember any type of where they're throwing it in your face and there's buy this, like how it is in today's day, right? I don't remember that crap. It just seemed to be like, hey, you just play, and it was free online back then, so it was just like, hey man, you just get unlimited.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens to these live service games in the next 5 years because I feel like it's gonna be rough. Like I think the big breaking point for gaming with how budgets are right now and how they continue to get out of control is like a big publisher goes under, like an EA size, a Ubisoft size, something like that, where it's like they either got to get bought out or they're gone, just because budgets just completely over. Like I think GTA 6 could cost $1 billion to make, and that's ridiculous. Like,
but they'll make that in like a day or two.
They will, but with
like the first day.
With that email that Phil Spencer had written up internally and leaked out, the big thing he pointed out is that because budgets go up because these publishers continue to compete with each other and they keep stacking more and more and more on top of the expectations, and eventually you run into a situation of you just can't sell enough. It's impossible to sell enough games to cover all these costs. So what do you do?
Yeah.
That's kind of the situation we're in right now. So I don't know. You feel like something would break and then a company would be like, wow, what do we do? So.
And then something you guys talk about a lot on here is like video game preservation, right? And so then all of these live service games, there's no way they're going to ever be preserved. Like they're just going to go under and no one's going to play them again, right?
No,
it depends on the game. There have been some MMOs that have vanished. I think Warhammer Online was one of the big ones where groups of people just got that game's info and now there's like a server you can just go check out.
Happens with a lot of games though, Joe's, like Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
No one's playing that ever again. Well,
yeah, but
I don't think
who was doing it at the beginning? I mean,
I can't fight back on that. That is true.
Everyone.
What'd you say, Sean? Online. Yeah. Oh wow, that is a flashback. Jeez.
What was the name?
The Matrix Online.
Oh yeah.
It's canon that Morpheus died.
I wanted to play that game so bad.
I did too. I actually wanted.
There's no private server for that.
There probably is.
There probably is. But
the Spawncast plays Matrix on though.
No.
They paid a lot of people to play Lawbreakers. Like I saw people playing it at launch, but it was all sponsored.
Yeah, I don't know how you make money as a company by paying the people to play your game. That's so.
they paid Evan, you know him, Silent Sentry. They paid him.
No, I know they paid. Yeah.
Yeah, they paid everybody. Like they were handing out money for that game, man. I was like, where's mine at?
Don't pay me.
That's because you don't play these games.
Yeah, they paid PC people. They paid the PC guys.
I've done the PC videos on my channel.
Not back then. Not when Lawbreakers came out.
I would have. They would have asked me
for the Cliffy B bag.
Right.
The Matrix Online private server.
Found it.
You logging in?
Going in right now.
Moment he clicks enter, our YouTube channel is taken
gone.
over. It's just like
the feed shuts down. John just where's John at?
Let me go over some of these super chats. We have another topic I wanted to also get to when it comes to Capcom. This though from the Andrew who says, "Screw Epic, they closed the local GameStop in Cary." There you go.
Okay.
This is from Alfie who says, "MVG, do you have any custom do-rags?"
I think he was talking to me. I already informed him I'm not MVG. And yeah,
no, I think you are.
Maybe.
This is from Shanna says, "Can't wait for Sophie and RGT's feet content collab."
Who the fuck is Sophie?
Who is Sophie?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And John O says, thanks to the info. Sean, thank you for sharing the MVG GameCube video.
Oh yeah, no
I've
problem.
heard in a while. Joshua says, what happened to Suicide Squad? Did I miss something or did it evaporate into the ether? They had that game fade into the bushes like Homer Simpson. It's I don't know what they're going to do to it, but they wanted us to forget about it, so it's just gone for now. It's coming out next year though. Apparently, we'll see. Era says Spawncast plays Metal Warriors. Evan ages like a fine wine. Fortnite is like the dream range when I was 12, but now other people are 12 and it sucks. Era
A lot of kids still play that game. A lot of them.
Oh, you can play it right on your phone now, right?
Yeah. I babysit this kid and he's all about it. So kids still like Fortnite.
Okay. Era says I'm playing Rocket League right now. Thanks to John's OG Switch Rocket League video. Era says NX2, nothing else matters. Yo Peeps says, can we go back to a regular single player multiplayer games? And if the regular multiplayer is popular, then move it to live service like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto.
That's a way. I mean, that's what I would like. I would like regular single player. Here's multiplayer. Then if it's good, then make more.
You used to do that. You go into the game and you choose in the menu single player or multiplayer, and then you
Yeah,
go from
but
there.
that splits the fan base, and you want them all focused on one thing.
Era says, "Oh, Josie Starlink
I guess the Starlink
for your Wi-Fi
stuff.
Like if you need Starlink." No, okay. Josie's not getting Starlink.
You get Star
Wait,
Trek. Try Star Trek.
Like the game on the Switch?
No, Starlink, like the internet service.
Oh,
'Cause
I
your
have no
Wi-Fi's
clue what we do.
on.
I have no power over what we get for internet. I really don't. So
There you go.
Not with that attitude. You don't have any power.
I don't care enough to have that much power.
Don't
over
let
it
the
either.
man hold you down.
She's a woman.
Tijo says, "Are you playing the correct version GBA of Yoshi's Island, Josie?"
It's whatever's on Switch, Switch Online. So if they have the GBA one, maybe. I like to usually play it close to the original. Like I'm playing Mario Bros 3 from the NES, not the one the All Stars remake, even though it's better.
Okay. David, no message here. Thanks, David. So I did want to touch on something that Capcom had mentioned in the news, and this was in an interview with either Nikkei or Nikkei. How do you pronounce that?
Nakai.
Wow, I was okay. Wow,
I don't know. That's just how I
Nikkei.
That's not how you can say the way that you're saying it, John. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, they had an interview with the president of Capcom, Hirohiro Fujimoto, and they said that they believe prices of games are too low and development costs are now 100 times higher than in the Famicom era, but game prices as such have not gone up that much. Also saying that they have to increase employee salaries for rising across the industry because, of course, competition when it comes to hiring talent and whatnot. And some believe that the Capcom president is alluding to game prices north of $80, potentially up to $100 for a title. Now, Capcom still releases their games at $60. Like Street Fighter was $60. RE4 Remake, I think, was also $60.
That was 60. Yeah.
So I obviously I believe they're making the move to 70. Like I think
Oh yeah.
next year I think it's very obvious Monster Hunter is coming out next year, or at least getting announced. And I think it's very obvious that thing's going to be $70.
Well, yeah, that's got to be 70.
That's just it, right? There's like it's 70 now, and that's that.
EA launched Wild Hearts at 70, so that's definitely going to be launched at 70.
Yeah, and Monster Hunter should. I mean, I think Monster Hunter is one of those games with that fan base to where they can launch it kind of whatever price they want, and it'll just do well. That's it.
Most of the fans pay, like a lot of the core fans pay $70 or $80 anyway for the game because of all the pre-order stuff and all the different bundles that they have. So most of them are already paying 70 plus for Monster Hunter anyway, or the DLC that comes, the stuff that you can buy, like the Iceborne and all that crap. So
that's a game where I feel like people can justify it to themselves because I feel like some people still play Monster Hunter Rise now and have like hundreds of hours in the thing. So yeah, whatever, $80 is fine. But it does make me wonder if we're gonna see an $80 game this generation, like PS5, Xbox Series kind of generation up to 2028, is someone gonna be like, all right, this game's 80?
GTA, that's gonna be. You don't think it's gonna be like $79.99?
You think that's the move? Do you think Take-Two does that? They're like,
they would get it in a heartbeat.
Game. It's $80.
And that'll be
get it in a heartbeat.
That'll be the base edition. You get to pay more for the 2-day early access.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh,
if you say, hey, if you pay $80 and you get early access, people would pay that 80, and everyone would just be like, all right, cool. No big deal.
What if it was like 5-hour early access?
They'd even do it for that. You give them an hour early access. GTA is wild. People would pay that because a lot of the fans already pay that, like with the microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
The biggest games can charge that price. Just like Zelda, literally, snap, we can get 70. They changed it, still sold. You know what I'm saying? Like people will pay for the biggest house. You just can't have like the non-biggest, like. That's when you run into issues. God of War, Ragnarok, and stuff, and all that. Yeah, you can charge 70 for that stuff. But when you try to charge like other franchises, like Wild Hearts, like I've been saying, and other games that came out, like Callisto, stuff like that, like 70, like you're not gonna. That's a recipe for disaster. But the biggest games, yes, Monster Hunter, absolutely. The next major Resident Evil, I mean, yeah, they'll probably charge $70 for that.
Yeah, I look at Nintendo and they kind of set the precedent that you could move the price up if you want mid-generate. You don't have to wait for a new generation. If you think the game's good enough, you just move the price up. That's that. So
situational.
Capcom does control franchises that can do that, I feel like. And I think Take-Two, obviously GTA 6, that might be one of the most interesting game releases in history. One, to see what it looks like, but two, to see how they would approach the price for it.
Drop it at 60 and hard stare at all the other companies. Like, why are you doing this?
That would erase like every bit of bad blood that people have with them. If they did that and dropped it at 60, people would just instantly forget. It'd be like the Men in Black. They just forget everything. Be like, all right, it's 60. Let's go.
We're still waiting for. I mean, we've been waiting for GTA 6 for a long time. Obviously, GTA 5 came out 2013. Been a long time with this Grand Theft Auto.
But if you think about it, though, it'd be the only game out of the games that have sold like that 100 million or whatever. It's the only one that's actually getting a sequel. Like Minecraft doesn't get any real sequels, right? It's like expansions. Sure. Tetris doesn't get any real sequels. It just gets variations of it. So this is the only game that's in that crazy tier that's actually getting a singular like release as a sequel instead of like some type of just continuation of an expansion or something like that. So that's why this game is it's the most unique release. That's because like there's not many games that have obviously sold 100 million, right? There's barely any. There's like Tetris, Minecraft, this game.
Yeah,
there's not many, right? Many. And none of them are really like sequel-ish type of games, and they're actually going to launch a sequel to a game this big. Usually, that's just live service; it's just expansion. So
you know what? Now that we're talking about GTA 6, the other question I saw come up in chat: do you think GTA 6 is going to be cross-gen? Do you think it's going to be PS4 and PS5?
No, there's no way, right?
I kind of feel like they're leaving the PS4 and the Xbox One behind for that. Like, I think it's coming out PS5 and Series X and PC. And I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a curveball and then it's on the next Nintendo system as well. Who knows?
If it was going to be on PS4, I think it might have already been out by now. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. I think we're getting. I mean, although we are seeing some games get ported backwards, like Jedi Survivor, where that's going to show up on the PS4 next year, apparently, and the Xbox One. I think GTA 6 is going to be one of those landmark moments where, if you don't have the system for it, a PS, you just go find it. So, all right, GTA 6, I'm gonna go get it.
That's a system seller. Yeah. That's gonna be like a system seller, like people did with the PS2. It's like GTA 3, San Andreas. That's just I'm buying that for that.
PS2. Yeah, that was that. So it's I think that's gonna be a ridiculous moment when that finally gets revealed. And I still wonder if it's coming out next year. I still wonder if it is, or if we're gonna see it by next year. So Game Awards coming up. Never know.
No, that'd be huge for Keely, man. You'd be if you got that.
Yeah, I think we probably will see an $80 game this generation. I think someone will move it up. So the inflation and everything, that $70 price, that $10 price jump to 70, I think has already been erased. So.
Even from that leak that they show with GTA, you can just, I know some people were shitting on it, but that looked crazy for.
Yeah. That's weird that people were like saying it looked bad. I'm like, dude, this is like, you can see the AI stuff pop up above the person's head as things are happening, and it's like, that's not what the game's gonna look like.
That to me is like, that's like, yeah, you gotta charge minimum 70 for that, right? Like,
oh yeah,
minimum for that.
It's gonna be interesting times ahead for that. Interesting times. Let me see. I should ask Sean. Are you gonna run an after show, Sean?
Yeah, I'll do it for a little bit.
Okay. What do you got on the docket for the after show anyway?
Same old bullshit.
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna look up your old paranormal area again.
Can't stay for the after show, but I will be there watching. Pregnant wife, super pregnant.
This is from Chase, who asked, Evan, have you played any Wayfinder?
Played it when it was early in the beta stuff because they gave me access. Wayfinder. And it looked good. Did not like the gameplay loop. If I'm thinking of the same one, that's the how do I put this? I think it's like the Joe Mad stuff. Like looks very similar to.
I see it here on Steam. $20. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the names of it. Yeah, it's okay. I just don't like elements of it. That's all.
Chris says, hey friends, out of curiosity, will emulation/game preservation end in the all cloud digital future, or will they still be saved? Thanks. Sean.
Yeah, you'll have to wait and see. It's not going to be nearly as easy, clearly. So yeah, once we have to get there before we can really.
Someone's going to put it all on the cloud. Someone's going to do it. There's a whole society for that, right?
Yeah, there's a whole society.
Okay, good. Wizzy says, RGT, did you buy any more wrestling buddies? Come on, the public wants to know.
No, not yet.
Which ones do you have?
I just have the original Hogan, the re-release Hogan, and then Undertaker. But I want to get all the older ones.
Too much Hogan. Sorry.
Not enough.
Do you are these just like, they're like figures, like the big pillow figure things, like cushions? Yeah, okay.
You're buying body pillows of WWE people? What's happening?
No, they're only 2 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
They're not like waifus.
Just cover yourself in them as you sleep. All
right.
Dark Type says, the talk of game projects being multi-million dollars to develop and them thinking of raising the price of games, maybe start making better games. I don't know. But I think it's more make sure the game is quality before it releases, because for like half a year I couldn't tell people to buy Jedi Survivor because of how busted it was at launch. Now it's good. Now you can play it and it's a good game, but before I couldn't. So I think that's more of the issue, is games are coming out at like pretty questionable quality,
which is kind of good because they gave you time to wait for a sale.
That's true, but I really wanted to play that game, and I'm
looking forward to it, getting it on sale now, and it's fixed. Let's go.
It's a very good game. It is. If you like Star Wars, Josie, you should check it out.
I'm playing the original right now. It's a good time.
Oh, you're playing Fallen Order right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great game. I like that one too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Do you want to go over to Streamlabs as we finish up here? Sir Rick says, have you seen or would you try the insane PS5 water block from EK? There's a PS5 water block. That sounds like a video. PS5 water block. You know what? I will check that out. EK. Got it. Thanks, Sir Rich. Adam says, we've seen nothing of the KOTOR remake. People act like we've been seeing snippets of it since it was announced. We haven't. We have no idea what the game looked like before Aspire lost it. Also, even if they didn't lose it, we were still in COVID times. That's true. They never showed anything of it, but signs are not looking good. Chris R says, I'd give anything to see RGT Sophie. Sean, who is Sophie?
I have no idea.
Well, they want to see you as Sophie while she plays Animal Crossing, as I get to watch.
I think he means Josie.
No, it clearly says Sophie.
They spell it Sophies.
I think maybe they're just a
Is this something
idiot.
from your after show?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought this was an after show thing.
No.
You've been tweeting at us, Sophie? What's happening here?
No.
Anonymous says, hi guys, love you all. Don't Feel bad for these game devs complaining about dev costs. They set the budgets and now they want to blame game prices. No, they don't feel bad when they nickel and dime us with microtransactions for years now. I'm fine with AA games. Hey, the indie scene, it's always there. And some very high quality stuff in there too. Let me go around here as we finish up. I'm going to start with Josie. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Josie Woe. I do Nintendo Switch content and that kind of stuff. I'm almost at like 9,000 subscribers. I'm like 100 away.
Oh wow!
Okay. Hit that at some point.
Go over check out Josie's channel. Subscribe there. She's got some good stuff. You got the Mario 3 stuff coming up.
The Mario 3 stuff. I stream quite a bit. All over the place over there.
There you go.
I tell you, 10,000 before the end of the year. Let's go, 10,000 plus.
Oh
it's
happening. That's true.
It's happening.
Cool.
Be on the road then after 9,000, less than 1,000 away from.
It's all downhill. Once you hit the 9,000, Josie, it just goes all the way to 10.
Yeah, check out Josie. Go over to the channel, give her subscribe, say hi, and then go bug her at her next stream.
Yeah.
This is from B Sparks, who says, "Shout out to the panel for being awesome." Thanks, B Sparks. Let's go to OJ.
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube. Player Essence got some cool stuff coming up on the channel. Got a top Nintendo Switch game list tomorrow. Hopefully that I'll have out. Got a bunch of live streams that I do normally. I stream all the time, talking about Nintendo Switch RPGs. So if you're into that, check it out. Got some Foam Stars stuff coming up. Got some, oh my God, there's so many RPGs coming up, man. It's crazy. So I got a lot of RPG content. So if you want to check out any of that, I'm here all the time, YouTube Player Essence. So thanks for having me on. Thank you for all the well wishes from your audience, John. I saw a lot of people coming over, so I appreciate you guys. And thank you, John. I know you DM me, so thank you, man. I appreciate that. And everybody, all the good stuff. So a lot of good mojo. So thank you, guys.
Congratulations to OJ over there. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Evan, where can I find you?
Here on YouTube, Kimrick's Project, almost to 3K subscribers. So
yes,
chugging
sir.
along.
Oh wow.
Just doing tabletop content. It's a little bit slow recently, but hopefully we can pick back up the speed on it.
All right. Check Evan out there, tabletop content. And then Sean, you got the after show going. Okay, go ahead.
YouTube.com, Dreamcast guy.
Evan, Sean, you sound you sound more down.
I'm tired.
Evan.
I'm so burned out too right now. Jesus.
I'm tired. I'm ready for bed, but the show must go on.
Okay.
YouTube.com / Dreamcast guy.
Also, shout out to all the people on Twitter who are watching. It's like 20,000 views on there. So thanks everyone for tuning in there. Maybe we'll make that a normal thing. I saw people who said, "Hey, I like watching on Twitter."
Yeah,
so there you go.
My man Juice said that he liked watching it on there. I'll think about it. Looks like things went smooth. It looks like it wasn't trash or anything.
No, it's fine. I have no idea what happens on Twitter.
Yeah, when we
after
click
this
end,
ends,
it
I
just
don't know.
vanishes. I don't.
Does it stay there? If it does,
I think
cool.
it just stays there. Like if you upload a video, I think it just stays to where people can watch it replay.
Great. That's like 2 hours of a podcast just sitting on the Twitter timeline. So there you go.
It just stays there.
There you go. That'll work. Cool.
I also linked it too. Yeah, I got like a lot of people watching it too.
Yeah, I think it worked out
as well. Yeah, a lot of people were watching it. Like when I co-tweeted it. So and you had even more. So it was good. It got a nice little boost. It's good.
All right, we'll do that again next week then too. Awesome. Good stuff. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Go check out Sean's after show for I can't be held responsible for what happens there. But we'll see you guys next time.